Hey, yo, it's Dom McD'Angelo. It's a Thursday, and it is Rumor and Innuendo. I'm here with Mr. Robert Karplus, WD Creative _ish. Robert, happy Thursday to you. How you feeling? We missed you yesterday, man.
Yes, apologies for that last minute scheduling hiccup popped up, and I had to go. Hopefully, that didn't happen with all your other besties out there, like Violent J or Vince Russo or the birthday boy himself, Rob Van Dam,
Happy birthday, RVD. Heck yeah. Robert, yes.
which I only know about because Ricardo Rodriguez and I are Facebook friends, and he had posted something about celebrating Rob's birthday.
Well, how about that? It's also Steve Austin's birthday, too. It's a wild, and Trish Stratus as well. So,
Wow. So I know I share my birthday with Goldberg. So there's at least one great Jew in wrestling who was born on December 27th, and also Goldberg.
wow, man. Yeah, I share one with Lex Luger and AJ Styles. So, how about that? June 2nd, baby. All right. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat here, though. Actually, just one person. Jeff Hettinger is the only one to chime in right now. Hello, R&I. Just made it in time. Happy you're here, Jeff. Oh, we got Wrestling Old Head saying, hey, everyone, happy Thursday. So we got some good stuff to talk about. A Dynamite that was 3 hours long. If you combine it with Collision, which they did, Robert, did you watch all 3 hours or did you just watch Dynamite?
So here's the thing that's so strange about our friends at All Elite Wrestling, whom we love and respect.
Absolutely.
So I am 420 years old, unlike Rob Van Dam, who's 420.
Yes.
My DVR set to tape Dynamite and Collision is two separate shows. Rather than just putting it as one 3-hour presentation, they have it as two separate shows, which throws everything off entirely. It's a weird decision on their part to go ahead and do that rather than just make it one coherent 3-hour show. But you can tell there is a steep change in that program when it goes from Dynamite to Collision.
Which is weird because, yeah, why not just embrace it as like a 3-hour Dynamite and like forego the Collision name tag on it all?
Who are they thinking that? Well, most of our fans know they're going to tune in from 8 to 10. They're going to make plans at 10 o'clock, so those people can go. But the Collision people, they're going to stick around. Like, just make it a 3-hour special. And they gave you so many big matches on that show so early in the broadcast. You absolutely could have extended it for all 3 hours.
100%. I said yesterday, I think they should have opened the show. Did they say they should open the show with something? I said they should open the show with like a match like Orange Cassidy versus Mascara Dorada just because of the athleticism aspect of it all.
Well, they put that on Collision.
That
They
was
need
on
to
Collision.
keep people awake. I know they have an energy drink sponsor.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's their strategy.
And it worked because I'm not drinking their energy drink. I'm drinking my delicious peach Celsius. Not a sponsor, just something I enjoy.
Is it still Woo Energy that they have as their energy drink?
No, they don't. They don't still have you couldn't get the Woo Energy. We tried to order it. I was going to make my previous co-host drink it, and we nowhere in two large major metropolitan cities was it anywhere remotely available.
That's bonkers indeed. Well,
but when you think healthy living, the first person you think of is Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Oh man, riding Space Mountain all them years, right? He's got to be the peak of health.
I'm a little surprised at a decision that our friends at All Elite Wrestling made. Namely, this was a taped show.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about a week or so ago, like, are they going to the UK? You may have talked about it with Scott. I may have just yelled it out into the ether. I said, MJF had been posting some things on social media that made it feel like he was going to potentially return sooner rather than later. And I go, there's no way they're going to have his big surprise return occur on a taped show so that it's out there on the internet. And then you're sitting there watching a segment where it's pretty lame duck when you know the big surprise. But they proved me wrong, Dom.
They sure did.
They went ahead and gave it away on a pre-taped show.
Well, I mean, I did not know because I didn't know, like, I didn't tune in and figure out that, I didn't read the spoilers, basically is what I'm saying. So,
I didn't read the spoilers, but I did see MJF was trending on X. And unfortunately, the primary reason why I go click if someone's trending is "Oh no, what did they say?" or "Oh no, are they still alive?"
That is very true.
Denzel Washington gif where it's like,
Oh,
but
that's hilarious.
yeah. So when it was like, "Oh, MJF surprise," I'm like, "What the bloody heck?" Because they're in the UK. We're talking Dynamite. So that's what we have on the run sheet here today, correct?
That is correct, Robert.
And
And
I gotta pull up the old notes on the old phone.
right. Well, the show did kick off straight with a match. It was John Moxley. It was Roderick Strong. And John Moxley, he ends up getting the win. He's now has 6 points, is in contention now. I did not know that he was advancing that highly already. Last week, we just saw he was down and out on his luck, and now he's back on track, Robert. Do you like this storyline going on with Mox?
John Moxley is the most compelling babyface they have in AEW.
Yeah.
He overcomes the early adversity in the tournament. He overcomes this fear of submissions that was going on, and he beats Roderick Strong. And then during Collision, cuts the second most compelling babyface promo I've seen from John Moxley this year. The first was, I think it was a week and a half ago, where it was about, as long as there's one grain of sand left in that hourglass. The hell are they doing? The dude like murdered Bryan Danielson. He murdered Darby Allin. He murdered Sting. But, now he's a baby face because I think they realized, oh man, we definitely need John Moxley on TV in order to preserve ratings. And we're not going to split up the Death Riders. So let's just go with plucky underdog, babyface, grizzled veteran John Moxley.
Do you think this is more of an indication that they are splitting up the Death Riders and we're eventually just going to ultimately get an official John Moxley babyface turn? But like AEW just is not good at laying out what happens, that this is what we're stuck with right now.
They just let things sort of fade away and then suddenly revisit it. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. The Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Jack Perry were an evil stable, all working together. Then it just like went away. One day people woke up and radio was television. So that's sort of what I feel like is going on here at the moment. I think it's also because you have the Don Callis family, who's very much a dominant stable on the show because they fill a number of segments. And then you have the Ops, who in theory is a dominant stable because Samoa Joe is the AEW world champion. So they then looked and like, well, we got this other stable that's got Danny Garcia and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah. And a babyface Pac now.
And a super hardcore babyface Pac and a world champion in another company, Claudio Castagnoli.
It's just,
sure.
Yeah. I don't really have a whole lot to comment on it. I like Moxley is fun. I do like him, like the fact that he's the only former champion in the tournament and stuff. So it does add an element of that kind of intrigue to it. But ultimately, you still don't know what the end game is with this tournament. Like, are you just the Continental Champion? Will you be the Unified Champion? What's the deal? I don't get it.
I mean, three people you definitely can't ask would be the Hurt Syndicate, who apparently have vanished into an abyss over the last several months.
Well, you can ask Shelton, because wasn't he in the Battle Royal tonight? This last night?
But the fact that the Hurt Syndicate was like a thing.
Yes.
And it seemed like they were teeing up that Lashley was going to have eyes on going after the world title, and they were going to have issues with the Ops, and they were feuding with Ricochet and his stable, and then just kind of gone.
This is seriously, this is like the Achilles heel constantly of AEW, is just having stars show up, making them feel like maybe a big deal starting off, and then they're just gone. And
well, they kept Eddie Kingston on TV, so there's that. Eddie Kingston cut a promo in the back that was basically, I lost, but I'm going to come back and win again at some point. You do you. Merry Christmas.
It's kind of what it felt like, a Christmas card that you see on television, like during like the mid-90s or something. That's what it felt like. Hey, we had a winner take all, $1 million winner take all, Robert. It was the Elite. It was the Don Callis family. And the winners did take it all. That was Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson. Friends again. They pinned Hechicero. Could you believe it? As they defeated him.
Totally stunned. If you would have read off the names, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero. Gee, I wonder who's taking the pin. I think Hechicero may actually be Spanish for taking the pin. Taker of pins.
That could be very much it.
Like a criminal and a hot topic. He's the taker of pins. My hope, if there was in fact a hope to come out of this, is that if there was going to be a segment and you're trying, you got Okada mad at Takeshita, Takeshita mad at Okada, and the fact that the two of them arguing with one another is what led to this. You get Don in there, and he goes, he looks like he's yelling at Takeshita, and it's like, we know whose fault this is, Hechicero. And then you get a bunch of guys jump Hechicero in order to try to keep these two alpha males together. I guess. I don't know. Now that they have the $1 million that they've won multiple times now, where do they go? What do they do with this $1 million?
Yeah. What is the storytelling element of all this? And I think another thing this match was in the middle of the show. You could have ended the show with this, your Dynamite.
That's why I'm saying this could have been the tail end of stay tuned for Collision, and you're going to see this match. And then you could have done the World Tag Title match right here in that spot.
Absolutely. And again, I think I know you're not a fan of the Young Bucks, but for better or for worse, they're one of the ambassadors of AEW, where it's just put a highlight on these guys, put a highlight on Kenny Omega, because they are the elite in the all elite wrestling aspect of it all. And they just really very much, sometimes by their own volition, feel like an afterthought.
I think that you could have had the $1 million main event, which, by the way, it was $1 million prize in a country that uses a different currency.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Just, putting that out there. But it was a match in the middle of the show, and then fear not, because it had a definitive finish, and now the storyline is over. And then, oh no, they all just beat up Kenny and the Bucks. And then Kenny pulled out a broom.
What the heck? What is going on?
Well, he was the cleaner.
That's true. That's true.
And he may also be Mrs. Doubtfire.
Maybe that's the next reinvention of Kenny Omega is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Whatever. Well, I think all that extra padding may keep him safe. So yes.
All for it.
Next segment was a tale of two segments. So they brought out Hangman Adam Page, who said nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
He is the king of filibustering and talking without talking. Then there was Swerve, who's basically trying to find every way possible to say, I am gassed to the gills, without admitting I am gassed to the gills. And then there's Joe. And it was like Hangman's promo was it was so strange. I got to take a phone call. I'll be right back. Apologies.
That's okay. It was strange, though. I will add that, Joe, his presence was captivating. Swerve's presence was captivating. Hangman was just so flat. There was no substance to it. Joe, almost kind of in a way, just felt like a babyface, champion, because he's got that cool factor. He's great at facial expressions. I don't Joe just feels miscast as this heel champion. It doesn't seem like it's going to add value with Hook and my goodness, Powerhouse Hobbs. I feel like everybody would be positioned in a much better situation in the ops if there were baby faces. And Hangman, sure, he's a baby face just there, and you are not getting what made Hangman so intriguing in the earlier days, where he was a little quirky, he was a little unpredictable. Now he's just this flat, paint by numbers champion is what it feels like, and it doesn't do him any favors. And thank goodness MJF did show up, because it made all these elements of what they're supposed to have at my goodness, what's the name of the Year's End? World's End. That's what it is. World's End pay-per-view, a little bit more intriguing because you can have like I know Robert and it being pre-taped and stuff like that, it kind of gave away what happened with MJF and stuff, but at the same time, he elevates everything. He's somebody like I was talking about appointment television when it came to like a CM Punk or Cody Rhodes in AEW. MJF certainly adds that for AEW. The only issue is, like WWE is currently going through, they may have a monster heel like in Gunther, and now they have a real top heel back in MJF. But who is going to be that big face of the company dance partner? AEW has been much worse at putting a spotlight on one particular person and making them feel special. It's just like, shifting in and out. When Hangman had his title run, it's just like, there he is. He's just part of the course for it all. And so, and like Swerve has that element to him too, I think, where he can be a top face for sure. But I don't know. I don't know what is kind of missing with that top babyface connection with Swerve. Part of maybe what I feel is a lot of these stars, and I said this on my show with RVD, was that they feel very attainable nowadays. Like, you interact with so many of these talents on social media. They're very accessible in that regard. I think being on social media can take away a little bit of that element of intrigue and stuff like that. Whereas, I don't know. I don't think Swerve has ultimately gotten a consistent platform to show himself as a top babyface either. So it's just, there's a lot of different things coming into play when it comes to this, that and AEW is snake bitten. I feel it's really snake bitten just because of who they've lost over the years. And, you had that company that was rivaling you just by perception, rivaling WWE. And now it just feels like a real distant second place. And there's reasons for that. And like the inconsistency of positioning people. We talked about the Hurt Syndicate earlier, and they're just not there. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing not making people feel important? Was Mark Briscoe even a factor on this show? I don't think he was. And so it's just like, you want to keep tabs. This has been the constant issue since AEW's inception, is the consistent presence and particular moments that you take to make these stars feel like stars. Let's take a look at some of your comments here too. Wrestling Loaded says Joe is a great talker, but is struggling with a character that has been fully defined. Absolutely. Like, it just feels like kind of lazy. Like, oh, Joe sold out. Not really. That's not the identity I was given with him. He's just a champion that turned bad guy, to get what he wanted. So I'm with you. I don't feel like, there is something that what's defined. Why are we hating on Joe so much besides that he backstabbed Hangman Page? It just, there's not a lot of substance behind, the reasoning, I guess, of it all. I'll pop Robert back on when he gets back up. But yeah, the segment was great because of MJF. I'd be interested to get Robert's take too on how he felt about what MJF had to say, because like he mentioned, I thought his digs were fun and MJF-esque. And I think honestly, like, some people raised a stink about him like name dropping like Diddy and comparing Swerve to Diddy and stuff like that. I think that's kind of what AEW needs, a little bit of freaking fire going. And like MJF kind of kicked it in the pants in the MJF fashion that he does. So I was okay with what he had to say. I thought it was entertaining. Like MJF is gonna walk that line of like, what is appropriate and what isn't. And so I think the program kind of needed it. The segment ran long, but like when MJF was talking, I was invested. And that's what you need. And but the thing is, who is MJF's gonna, you think down the line, who's gonna be this MJF? I think AEW really has that problem. Like, Will Ospreay's a great baby face. He's hurt, obviously. But again, even when Ospreay was there, he wasn't positioned in the right manner, I don't think. I just like, there's just so many things that trouble me and frustrate me about this product, because I want to see both companies flourish, and it's just such a gut shot for me. And AEW also, I think, has suffered the gut shot of losing their talents like a Cody Rhodes, Bryan Danielson retiring, who wasn't on the card. Oh, yeah, that's right, because they were in London, or Manchester, and then CM Punk, being the other one, and Jade Cargill as well. Ricky Starks, if you want to throw him in there too. Let's see. Wrestling Old says that Diddy reference was very layered because I think Diddy had a show called Diddy's House. Yeah, I wanted MJF to lean over to like whose house is it and like talk about Swerve's house getting burned down. I think that would have been pretty funny. Maybe you probably made that reference already, but shout out to Richard who's chimed in. Thanks for tuning in here, Richard. Appreciate it. Wrestling Old Head said also adds I might be wrong on that show name, but there was a show in his house. I can't remember. Wasn't it? I think you're right. Wasn't it on MTV? Didn't Chappelle make a parody of it? It's like pure Cambodian breast milk, baby. That's pure Cambodian, baby. I remember that. We can double back when Robert gets back off his phone call. But let's talk about the Babes of Wrath and Timeless Love Bombs. They teamed up to face Mercedes Moné, Athena, and Mega Problems. Is that the name of Marina Shafir? See, this is the issue. I don't have any clue. There is no. Help us out here, AEW. Literally, treat us like children and lay out stuff like names of people, show it, talk about it, because I had no idea that's what Marina Shafir and Megan Bain were called. And like, I'm thinking of the art of factions and like how factions felt like such a big deal back in the day. Now everybody's a part of a faction and everybody's got a title. It's all like just all mixed together and it's just insane. It just drives me nuts. It's something that I'm just like, how do I keep track of all this? Help me. Be my Jerry Maguire, AEW. What's going on here? Okay. Anywho, this was a fun match. I did like it. And you had Mercedes get the pinfall win off of Willow. So are we getting Mercedes and Athena teaming up to go against the Babes of Wrath? Where I thought they were going to make a run in the tournament, Mercedes and Athena. So we're revisiting that story. I'm kind of okay with it. It just feels like a placeholder thing, maybe for Mercedes. Okay, she's going to win the tag titles maybe at some point with Athena, or is she just going to be a feud of the week for the Babes of Wrath? Like, I would have just done more so with, I mean, I'm all right with them winning, the heels winning. I totally am, but it's just like, what's going on here? It's what is happening? It's just like you would think maybe Marina or somebody would get the pinfall, so then you can have Bane and Marina, your Bane problems. What are they called? Mega Problems? What a weird name. Go against the Babes of Wrath. So, Rushgold, it says odd choice to have the women's tag team champs lose a match a week removed from winning them. Yeah, that's another aspect of it all too. They just won the titles, and you're having somebody already take the pinfall. What's going on here? What's going on? So, all right. We also had the Gold League, Kyle Fletcher versus Pac. Fun match. These guys went all out, and it was end capped by Pac doing a top rope avalanche poison Rana to Kyle Fletcher before hitting the red arrow for that 1, 2, 3. Man, what a great finish the red arrow is. Like, it's like a flawless kind of top rope move. Pac does great stuff with that. And so it makes you just think about Pac, and I'm kind of glad he got the win. But like, what are you doing here with the Death Riders? That's what it boils down to. Again, this is a heel faction, and like at least 2 of them are kind of positioned pretty, or you could kind of argue like 4 of them are positioned in babyface roles when it comes to Claudio, when it comes to Moxley, when it comes to Pac. Danny Garcia is another one too. But it's just, what's the deal? What is the deal with the Death Riders? Just end this freaking storyline. Can you just make it make sense? Wrestling all that pocket swerve, whatever they are talking, I hope it's legal. LOL. They're looking like walking action taking. Well, yeah, they're looking like walking action figures. Jeff Henniger. Robert has been gone a while. Is he doing C2 meth? I just imagine him like Charlie from that Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Charlie's got the lines behind him, from the investigation. That's what Robert's doing right now. He's like, that's what's going down, Robert. Man. Oh, speaking of Robert, he is back. Boom. Oh, I just removed him. Hold on. Hey, Robert, welcome back.
Sorry, but all of a sudden all I hear is you just saying do 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 and like moving your hands, and I was like, oh, good, he's having a stroke live on air.
No, I was saying what you were doing with the Continental Classic, trying to do math. Jeff
I can't figure. No, that was what that call was about. That was for some reason people think during office hours or during a workday they can just call me during a workday. So I needed to jump off and take that call, and sadly, none of it was about MJF's glorious return.
Yes, yeah, I talked about it, but I want to double back because I want to get your thoughts, what he had to say. I thought this whole situation, the title picture, the top main event aspect of it all needed a kick in the pants. MJF kind of gave it with what he had to say. I was all right with like the Diddy comments. I was all right with the digs he took at Samoa Joe. He made it fun. He made it MJF-esque, and I think that's what AEW kind of really needs right now.
It felt like it was a different program entirely, and I think that's why I liked it.
Yes.
There was a safe route. There was a phone it into the end of the year route. There was what WWE is doing over on Raw route, which is just, we just want to get out of the rest of the year and we'll focus on 2026 and 2026. MJF showing up in there as plugged in and as engaged as he was and calling out how terrible everything else has been on this program. It felt like you could use this iteration of MJF as a babyface, as a heel, and not change who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they wanted that flexibility because I think the audience is confused with, wait, why are Hangman and Swerve getting along okay? Hangman does sound like a bitch, which has been a problem of his for quite some time, that he does not sound like a real babyface.
No.
When he talks, there's a whiny, complaining element to it. He's almost like a shorter Drew McIntyre in the way that he's been talking. And this idea of, well, I was going to be virtuous, and when I won the title, I would give a shot to Darby, and I would give a shot to Ospreay, and like, what is this?
It's not intriguing at all.
It was very, very odd. And then it was just like MJF being like, "Oh no, I'm back. We're good. There's a hand on the wheel, and we are moving forward."
That's what it felt like, Robert.
And we are moving forward, Dom.
We are moving forward. Anything else you want to cover when it came to what happened on Dynamite? I'd mentioned the Pac and Kyle Fletcher match. Thought it was fun, but it's just like we said earlier, it's like a head scratcher when it comes to what you're doing with the Death Riders.
It's not even a question what you're doing with the Death Riders. I don't know that if I was Tony Khan, I would feel that comfortable beating Kyle Fletcher as clean as many times as you. I get that it's the Continental Classic and it's the tournament and whatever and da-da-da-da-da. I would not be beating that guy. He was literally the number one contender for your world title a few months ago, and he is your next big rising star. And then you got him losing clean to Pac.
Which, like, I'm not as against that necessarily, but yeah, it does diminish maybe what Kyle Fletcher's done, especially he's taken up 2 losses in a row with Speedball Mike Bailey and then Pac. It's just like, I get the intrigue of it, hey, what's happening in the Continental Classic? But I mean, I don't know. Is that a good investment that you're making when it comes to all that?
I don't know. But it's a good investment, Dom, is tuning in here every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. We're available on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, Podcast Heat, and ad-free shows. And on behalf of the man who has a brighter future in the NFL than Tua Tagovailoa, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Put me and Mike McDaniel. We have glasses together. We're both nerds.
Shh.